Good morning, respected Professor Mohan Lal Agarwal, President, Indo-Gulf Management Association, Dubai. Respected Director Sir, Dr. Tapan Kumar Nayak, Dr. Nitin Kumar Saxena, and to dear friends. Professor Agarwal is the President of Indo-Gulf Management Association, Dubai. He is the recipient of the UAE Golden Visa for Research Excellence. He is ranked among the 251 most fabulous global education leaders and is the former professor at California State University. We welcome you, sir. Now, I would like to invite our director, sir, to welcome our esteemed guest and to throw some light on the MOU.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Komal, for setting up the tone, setting up the platform today. You rightly said that I really feel elated. I really feel honored and grateful to welcome the esteemed guest. I mean, I normally though consider Mohan sir as our guest. I really always feel like a family member to Jaipuria School of Business.
Honored, sir. Honored.
But I take this platform as my great honor and opportunity to welcome Dr. Mohan Lal Agarwal ji, the president of Indo-Gulf Management Association Dubai, for being with us today. And let me tell you, my dear friends, students, can I please request you to switch on your camera? I really want to see you all. I mean, this is a great platform. I mean, let me tell you that this is the rarest of the opportunity you will find to talk to a person who is very, very grounded, very humble, and a platform of knowledge, a plethora of knowledge he is having. And I'm really thankful to Mohan Lal Agarwal sir, who has kindly agreed to grace this occasion for this particular MOU signing ceremony, though we have formally signed it before, but we have discussed, I was discussing with Dr. Nitin, that why not to listen, sir, why not to hear from sir what exactly this MOU is going to help us. This MOU is going to, create a kind of new horizon, a new avenue for the academic excellence of Jaipuria School of Business. My dear students, let me through all of you, I mean, on behalf of each one of you and the whole JSB fraternity, I would like to thank the management of Indo-Gulf Management Association, those who have kindly agreed to have a kind of a mutual association, a mutual collaboration with Jaipuria School of Business and Indo-Gulf Management Association Dubai. The basic purpose here, let me tell you, though Mohan sir is going to tell you all, but in my brief understanding, in my small understanding, what I feel that this particular MOU, this particular collaboration and association is going to create, is going to have a kind of, the academic excellence, there are different conclaves, there are different conferences, there are different workshops, okay, which the Indo-Gulf Management Association is undertaking throughout the globe. They have people across the globe and those who are, the academics in repute. And let me tell you that by having this particular MOU, having this particular association, the people, those who will be on board, while we have a kind of different conclaves, joint conference or joint workshop. One you have already witnessed during our international marketing conclave, which we held on 19th of February 2022, where you have witnessed the level of, the academicians, the level of corporate leaders. Okay, may it be Nadia from Nestle, may it be Professor Holtzman from US. Okay, so there are many notable, the experienced academicians and corporate leaders. This is the basic purpose. I always tell my students, you remember in my first interaction with all of you at JSB Ghaziabad, I told you that network is the net worth of a student. So believing in this particular concept, JSB Ghaziabad as an institution is also driving on this particular concept to build up the network. So this particular network, this particular collaboration, this particular association is basically to bring a plethora of knowledge, to bring the level of academicians and corporate leaders, those who are going to tell you what exactly is being happening in the globe. The business environment, the world environment is changing so fast. We are living in a VUCA world. Okay, everything is changing. Change is the constant, the real constant of our life. So how to tackle this change, how to understand what exactly the market, what exactly the world market is needing from us as a manager, as a budding manager, or as a student of management, or as a teacher and faculty of management, how to thrive this particular, how to continue working on the direction of the change. So this is the basic motive, this is the basic purpose, and I believe that in the with the association with personalities like Mohan sir, whom I know him since a decade, and the person who is so humble, so grounded, and whenever I talk to him, I gain knowledge from him. I mean, I'm so rich, I have extracted a lot from him, and I also urge all my students, all my faculty colleagues, that you be in touch with such personalities, those who are going to, enlighten you, those who are going to add some values to your life. That is the basic purpose of holding this type of collaboration, this type of associations, right? I mean, I'm so humble. I'm so, elated to share on this particular platform. Let me tell you, we may be very rich in academic knowledge, right? We may not give anything to any person, but yes, when we share our knowledge, when we talk to the people, when we gain the knowledge from other people, that is what the basic fundamentals, that is what the basic value addition we believe in academics fraternity. So not taking much time, I'm not taking much time on this particular, because I know I'm in front of Mohan sir, I'm nothing to add certain values, but I'm sure with your continued patronage, with your continued guidance, your humble suggestions, we will definitely try our best to improve our, the academic curriculum, our the value dissemination to our students through, may it be through classroom, may it be through conferences, conclaves, workshops, or different, small, the sessions, special sessions. So that students will be rich in academics, students will be wise in academics, students would add certain values to their curriculum, to add values to their own personal and professional life. So with this, so I once again welcome Dr. Mohan sir on board. And how can I forget Dr. Nitin is being the instrumental of bringing this particular platform. So thank you, Dr. Nitin, for this particular association, this particular collaboration which you are making. And I'm sure this is just the beginning, and you will put a lot more efforts to make it effective for our students and faculty staff fraternity of Jaipuria School of Business. So thank you so much. Thank you, my dear students. So you can also put some of your questions to Mohan sir while during his address to you, that how this particular collaboration, how this particular association is going to add certain values to your life, right? So thank you so much, Mohan sir, namaskar, and thank you all my dear colleagues, students, for being here with us. Over to you, Komal.
Thank you so much, sir, for your insightful words. Now, I would request Professor Agarwal and Director Sir to unveil the signing of the MOU.
It's our pleasure.
I would further invite Professor Mohan Lal Agarwal for his enlightening words on the importance of international collaboration in management education.
Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Komal. Thank you, Dr. Sahab, Dr. Tapan. A picture of both perseverance and personal modesty. I don't think you will find many examples like this, where a person is both erudite as well as so empathic to others. I really want to say that part very clearly. Dr. Nitin, we have a word, and that word is called we, W-E. Hmm. Actually, that word W-E is evident today. W stands for wisdom, which obviously is Dr. Nitin, Dr. Tapan,
Nitin ji.
And E is energy, which is Dr. Nitin. So wisdom and energy is what is called we, and that is exactly what is happening. As Dr. Tapan very clearly said, that for the 1 decade we know, and that decade has been absolutely important for me also. And therefore, he met me, and I met him. Both, were there at very important decade of my life, which was many people will say the final decade of my academic life, which was like late 50s and early 60s. And so that is how I'm trying to learn from him and learn from the ways that he does. Yeah, I think Komal was absolutely right when she said that MOUs, international collaborations, evidences of those collaborations, they all are one and the same, and they are helpful to all of us. You see that we are living in a post-global era. What is global era? Global era started somewhere in the late 70s and early 80s, when a very powerful voice of management, Theodore Levitt of Harvard Business School, he wrote a path-breaking article in Harvard Business Review, which he said globalization of everything. Globalization of everything was a very, very powerful and controversial statement at that time, that how can you make everything global? There are so many things which are local and they should remain so. But Theodore Levitt, who had earlier shaken the strategic world in early 60s by writing an essential reading today for anyone, and that particular article was called Marketing Myopia, Marketing Short-Sightedness. So he had written and he had changed that word also at that time, and Philip Kotler learned from him. Philip Kotler became his disciple and, in a way, took up the challenge of marketing myopia beautifully. Now, this particular thing, that is globalization of everything, that was also taken up by many people uh, who wrote fantastic things about globalization. And I'm very proud to say, although that person is no more, but he was an Indian and he did an amazing work in this field, and his name was Sumantra Ghoshal. So Sumantra Ghoshal wrote things about transnational corporations. So he became a disciple from that point of view, again, of Theodore Levitt, and took up the challenge of globalizing everything. That was the period of globalization. I would say that in the early part of the century, one more myth was busted. What was that myth? The myth was that everyone is born local. I would like to say that that particular myth was very beautifully blasted by the term which was used, that there are certain organizations which are born global. It means they are global right from the beginning. And those organizations remained knowledge-centric organizations or service-centric organizations like Infosys or TCS. They were global, or they were born global from that point of view. Now, that particular challenge was later on taken by some of the other, educational institutions also, because educational institutions said that if Infosys and TCS can make such a wonderful contribution to the world by becoming global immediately, why not organizations also which are in the educational sector, like colleges, like universities? Now, this I'm talking about the Indian context because many of these institutions were born global in the US right from the beginning. Many of the institutions were born, global in the Europe also. Whether it is Oxford or whether it is Cambridge or Harvard, they were born global at that time itself. Although obviously any organization will get its supply in the beginning locally first because of the demand being present there, and therefore they will be attacking that kind of segment first. But the goal wasn't that. Now, this kind of challenge was taken by many institutions in India. Unfortunately, the rules, regulations, regulators, and others, they thought otherwise. Many of you may have heard that very recently a new IIT is being created, or the first IIT being created abroad, and fortunately in my own city where I'm speaking from, Dubai. So this is one sea change from that point where the same IIT Delhi director was hauled over hot coals because he talked about setting up IIT outside India about 20 years ago. You may not know, but Dr. Tapan would know very clearly that what kind of hardships he went through from the ministry when he spoke about that. Now, to me, I mean, if you ask me, to me, I would consider that person very praiseworthy, very, very respected. And if I meet him ever, I will definitely bow my head to him when he thought things like that and took personal risk because he wanted to bring this kind of thing quickly, much, much sooner, so that we could have had that advantage. But well, better late than never. So from that point of view, I think we should consider this challenge to be there. So the point which I'm trying to make here is that number one, born global is established. Number two, born local is busted. So then in that particular case, what is the third thing which is coming up? I would say now that today we can say that organizations are born global, right? And we know the term already. So I am not telling something very new. That is to say, combination of global and local is called global. Now everyone is global, whether it is Haldiram or whether it is Bikaner Wala or whether it is Papa. You can say anything. They all are born global. Unfortunately, they do not see it that way. They see it mostly as born local because there is enough demand around them and resources are not there. More important is the leadership is not there. The leadership which can think like that. Now that's the point which I would like to say today in the honor of our beloved director Dr. Nayak, that he is a man of vision. He said, let us not be in Indrapuram only. Let us not be in Ghaziabad only. Let us not be in NCR only. Let us try to be outside and let's explore those options where we do not leave anything of our strength, unexploited, but we also explore more things. That's the idea of this MOU between Indo-Gulf Management Association, that it is an evidence of global. It is not global, it is not local, but it is global. So what are the things which are possible to be done under this? Sky is the limit, because the MOU that we have signed is an umbrella MOU. Umbrella MOU means that now your initiative, your programs will receive international support immediately. Now, just to give you one example, that later on when I spoke to Nestle chief who spoke at your conference, she said, Dr. Mohan, it was fantastic to be there. Now, how would she know where is the organization like IMS without or you or Jaipuria or any of them to be there if it is not known to them? They will know only when they come to know of it. And they will come to know of it through these particular things. So that is why I believe, that this Jaipuria Institute of Management has done a fantastic job by going beyond it. And believe me, it is not very expensive. It is definitely not expensive, or as expensive as we had thought at that time. All these things are within our cost management. Vision is the thing, leadership is the thing, give and take is the thing, and involving our wonderful students is the thing. Because everyone wants to hear these students, everyone wants to learn from them, everyone wants to get the energy of them. I think this MOU will be just a piece of paper if we are not able to mount any credible set of activities for our use and for community use. For instance, what is the thing that we can do? Number one, like for instance, day after tomorrow, not day after tomorrow, but 2 days after, on 13th, a very well known, now the word is not very good, but still it is important, that very well known Russian entrepreneur is going to talk about international internships with IGMA on Sunday. I very strongly implore you, please join online on Sunday. I will send the the brochure. I'll send it, and it is all free. There's no nothing about it which prevents you, except your own busyness, except your own priorities, except your own activities for that particular day. But if you can join, wonderful idea. Okay, so that is number one thing that I would like to say. That is, and if you feel, I will do one more thing. If I can get, let us say, if Nitin Sahab and others, if they can say that, oh, okay, at least 30 students will join from your this thing, then I will say co-sponsored by Jaipuria Institute of Management to celebrate our MOU. The way that you are doing this celebration, I will make sure that this particular, and each and every person will receive a certificate co-signed by Dr. Nayak. In other words, that it will not be just, as if that we are just saying, but it will be, and he will
Definitely,
be signed.
definitely.
Yeah. So
We'll do
at
it.
least 30 students, if I can get, then I can show that, this was done by them and others came by invitation. So co-sponsored kind of thing. That is number one thing that I would like to say. The second I would like to say is that now there are some new learning platforms emerging. Let us be on them as much as we can. One of them is the simulations, the computer simulations. Cases are there. I'm not at all, discounting them. That's a very big deal. That is a very good way of learning. And probably it is very important now that we are perhaps getting fewer opportunities for physical interaction because of the COVID or and many other things. Or even people say that now, never, do not use the word COVID. Just say that the shape of work has changed, the face of work has changed. It is no longer fully physical. It is no longer fully online, but it is going to be a blended form. So this is, again, another opportunity for us. Why not create a new genre of cases which will be only for online education? In other words, we will take up this as a challenge to show to the people that how traditional cases are good, but online cases are better. Online cases means that we will make some changes in terms of their pedagogy, in terms of the contents, in terms of their, we will also look at the length. We will also look at the topics that we are taking. For instance, traditional, cases do not have rich text opportunities. Here, you have rich text opportunities. You can go multimedia very quickly because you are discussing them online. So side by side, we can even have this, and we can also have the CEO or someone from that company at the same time available and discuss. Now, this kind of delivery of case will be amazing. That we are discussing the case of a company as well as the leader of that company is also present with us, and we will also talk about that thing. So I would say this could be another thing that we could do together, and this will be the distinctive event. It will not be cases, it will be online cases. and not many people have spoken about it from that point of view. So the first will be the simulation games. The second could be the online, this. Third would be that please, I request you, implore you, that take some part-time in international internships. Join the companies virtually. It doesn't take anything away from you. In fact, it adds something to you from that point of view. So these three things can be done very, very quickly, without much preparation by you immediately, I would say, or quickly at least, if not immediately, as a part of this MOU. Now, next time you have got, I would say, your festival, your student festival, your cultural festival, I would request you to have virtual teams. Virtual teams from other, colleges from US, from Canada, from Europe, because they are our partners. And I can also tell them they will be as happy to be a part of your cultural festival as you are. Like you are doing some contest, think of one or two contests which can be done only online. Maybe that stock exchange game that you do, or any other kind of games that you do, why it has to be done within India only? Why not with the people from Side Business School of Oxford, or Emirates NBD Bank of Dubai, or now that Axis Bank yesterday has bought Citibank retail division for about $1.6 billion. Now, clearly, now Axis Bank will also be interested in seeing that how Citibank or City Retail Banking can be a part of this, because they also have to show that they are not only the owner of Axis Bank, but they're also the owner of the earlier Citibank, which is a very, very well-known bank in India. In fact, that was the bank, if you may not know, but Dr. Tapan knows very well, which started retail banking revolution in India. Citibank was the first bank in India which introduced a concept which is still a standard. And the name of that standard is very, very simple. They called it unfixed deposit. Most banks were giving fixed deposit. They said that we are giving unfixed deposit. Now, what is unfixed deposit? Unfixed deposit was also a fixed deposit, but they deposited that 10,000 rupees FD into 20 blocks of 500. 20 blocks of 500 will become 10,000. Now it is so if suppose somebody wanted 2,000 out of that 10,000, they will just break 4 little blocks of 500. So 8,000 will continue to get the fixed deposit interest, and 2,000 will get whatever interest was applicable at that particular time. But previously, if you remember, or even today you remember, if you want to get any money out of your fixed deposit, the whole fixed deposit has to be broken, and then you use it. Citibank changed it totally. So I think this is a very, very good way to learn something new. Similarly, there is a bank here I mentioned just a few minutes ago, Emirates NBD Bank. It is the largest consumer bank in this part of the world. They have a very, very big interest in India. They have also opened branches in Mumbai, Delhi, and other places, especially for the people who are dealing with Gulf countries. Now, this bank has a practice, and that particular practice is something which we can even talk about, and we can also ask them, and we can suggest to them. That practice is what they call, you need not deposit the check at all in order to take the credit or deposit of that check. Just take a scan of that particular check and send it by your official WhatsApp to an official WhatsApp receiver. So the bank will credit your check, pay your check based on your WhatsApp picture. You need not go to the bank and deposit the check. Now, what a wonderful idea. Now, some people say, sir, frauds will happen, frauds will happen. Many people will say this thing. Well, there is always a probability of a fraud, even in traditional ways also. You and I also know that many times fake accounts were opened in order to deposit the checks of some people. So those kind of exceptions will always be there. But that doesn't mean we should stop innovating. I would say that even we can also have a contest that new ideas of customer bank relationships, and I would definitely go to Axis Bank or Emirates NBD Bank, please sponsor it or please be a part owner of it. Reason is they also want to know the things which are happening with us. They also want to learn from us. So there are many opportunities which we can do. The important thing is, please become smart students. Who is a smart student? A smart student is one who attends classes fully, attends classes on time, and then the remaining time they use for becoming smarter. That is to say, activities, extracurricular activities, extra readings, like that. Many of you do not understand the value of attending the classes. In my opinion, in MBA level, it is the best way to prepare for your exam if you attend the class fully on time and interact with the professor. Thereafter, you need not study much. You will only study much for the purpose of either exams or for the purpose of assignments. But other than that, you have plenty of time available. And that plenty of time available should be to become smarter with the things that is happening to you. That's the difference between an Indian student and an American student MBA. They do not give more than necessary time to studies. They give more time to developing their personality, developing their network, developing their connections, developing opportunities. I hope that that particular attitude is also perhaps strengthened as a result of this MOU. So I can go on and on and on, but this is just an introduction. And at this particular introduction, as they say, अभी तो ये trailer है, picture बाकी है. So we will see what that picture will look like, because picture makers are us, producers are us, actors are us. And in many ways, audience could be different. Others could also see that how much this change made a difference. Just one example of a person whom I respect a lot and who has been with me at every step of the way, and his name is Jagdish Seth. Now, this man, marketing Jagdish Seth, has been contributing very significantly to Indian education and education system for the last 20-30 years, because he is in his early 80s and he has already achieved a lot and he doesn't need. But what happened? He gave his name to a business school in New Mumbai just about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. Believe me, that name has made a difference to the fortune of that particular business school. Business school used his assets, used his resources, used his brand equity to do many things continuously. It is my fervent hope that IGMA learns from you, IGMA succeeds with you, and that you also are able to take whatever IGMA has to offer as a part of your own progress. This is the wish I have, this is the dream I have, and this is perhaps the purpose of all this. With this, I thank Jaipuria. I really thank Dr. Tapan for his result-oriented leadership. Now, let me put this way, result-oriented leadership. He has built a very good team of young people. Nitin, I don't know whether he is still married or not, with the way he sends out, emails one after another. But if you are married, still, well, thank her for us that you are giving so much time.
This is the biggest compliment Nitin has received.
Right. So thank you everyone, and thank you everyone and I will see you hopefully day after tomorrow, not day after tomorrow, on Sunday. It is at 10:30 in the morning, only for 1 hour, and there will also be thereafter walk-in interviews for international internships. In other words, we will also get you part-time international internships in international arena, all virtual. So you don't have to worry about it. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. I am just tempted to say a few things, though there are a few questions. So once I finish, Dr. Nitin may take up these questions of students. I am sure Mohan sir would be agreed to answer them. But I'm sure, Mohan sir, if this trailer is like this, then the picture, the picture of IGMA, JSB, MOU files is going to be beyond 100 crores hit. I'm sure out of it. Okay, there are few important points which has been discussed by Mohan sir. I'm sure this is going to help us. One, that he talked about part-time international internship, virtual internship. This is a great idea. Let me thank you, Mohan sir, for bringing this idea to our students. I would request our students to, may think on this particular direction. And I would also request my colleague, Dr. Rajiv Matthew is here. He is heading the international business area, right? You may also get in touch with Mohan sir, along with Dr. Nitin sir, and you may find some international avenues for, our IB specialization students. Of course, this may be helpful for our marketing students also. But I think if you can extract something out of Mohan sir, this is going to be great for our students. And the second most right, thank you. And the second most interesting idea, which I never thought of. I mean, to be very honest, that the virtual team from other countries to be participated in our cultural or any other competitions, any other ceremonies we do. So that bring a kind of the global collaboration, a global participation, and that also brings a kind of global competition among us, the students. So this is a great idea, sir. Thank you so much. I'll definitely think on this particular direction. I'm sure we'll make something out of it. So there are many things you told, but yes, I think, I mean, the trailer which you have shown us today is going to bring a great picture for in the coming days. So thank you. So over to you, Dr. Nitin or Komal, if you can read out few questions being raised by our students for sir.
Yes, sir. So you have questions. The question is from Sanskar. What are the challenges in these international collaborations?
The biggest, I would say, critical factor or success factor is the belief of the leadership in this particular collaboration and resources behind it. Resources behind it, very important. There is one which is word, and there's another which is action. Now, between word and action, always there is the stumbling block of the will as well as the resource. Now, we are not talking about too much resource, maybe some time itself. Our leadership is a resource. It's not financial resource, but resources.
Okay. So the next question is from Amit. What are the skills we have to develop during PGDM to enhance our career in corporate world?
Read and read more about global happenings, about global developments, and especially those developments which can have an implication for India. We don't have to know each and everything about each and every country, but we do need to know that what is happening and how will that affect us or our our own country, because this is our country. And in this particular country, we, our mother country it is. We have to contribute to the growth of our mother country, and where we have taken all from that. That's how I would say. That reading and general awareness. I would say please do give about half hour to 1 hour to read top economic news from the top publications, maybe CNN, maybe Times of India Finance or Economic Times. If you have that 1 hour, just 1 hour, I ask you, and read that analysis of the people, it will make a world of a difference.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So the next question is, what factors effective to the collaborative learning process?
I would say that, the intent of the both parties, how much close they are, how effectively, closely they meet. There is a term called corporate governance. There is also MOU governance. And that MOU governance means that, regularly or at regular intervals, I think both parties should review that how it is happening, and how to strengthen it further. Like you must have seen that foreign ministers and ministers will go to different countries and review the progress of their cooperation. The same way, I think if we can have at least one meeting in a month and quarterly review, that will be very, very important for the success of this MOU.
So the next question is from Nitin sir. How students can prepare themselves for international internships?
In my opinion, they already are, if you ask me, right? Because I don't think that there is any special requirement is there. The very fact that they are in JSB, or JBS, the very fact that the director, management, professors are in this meeting means that they are preparing the platforms. They are, in my opinion, creating the drinking source. Whether you want to drink or not, that depends upon you. In my opinion, I don't think any college can do more than that, because if they do more than that, then that will be more like compliance. We don't want compliance. We want willingness rather than compliance. Compliance to me is a negative word.
So the next question is, what are the essential qualities required for international interns?
Big knowledge of what is happening around the world, and still big knowledge about the area where you want to operate. Like if you are looking for an internship in EU, then you should know what EU is, what the rules and regulations of that. Not everything, but working knowledge of that. And definitely you should know the names of the companies which are important, which are making waves, or which are going under, or which are doing well. All those things are very important for us. In other words, I would say general awareness and business awareness.
So the next question is from Sneha ma'am. Sir, are there any opportunities for students and faculty exchange programs?
Now, in terms of faculty exchange, it is easier because we are talking about very few people only, maybe one or two like that. So those opportunities are always there, although they have been changed a little bit because of this global pandemic. People are, reassessing their strategies as well as this thing. As far as students are concerned, believe me, every day I'm receiving some kind of request or the other for internship from companies and virtual internships. Reason is very simple. They also want to reduce any of their health related liability or any other liability, which can expose them to regulators. Like suppose somebody gets sick, or suppose somebody. So therefore, online virtual internships are being preferred by most companies, and many, not any, but many.
Okay, so sir, these were the questions. We are done with the questions.
Thank you.
I would say, I would say that, guys, we are all lucky to have you. The same way you are lucky to have this kind of collaboration. It is a common luck. IGMA is also very proud that a Jaipuria kind of name is here, and Jaipuria kind of leadership is here, because this group has created quality education. I mean, there are many groups which have created multiple institutions, and they have also gone down the tube with the same kind of speed. But I think the Jaipuria has kept very, very good quality level and integrity level. Both quality and integrity are to be praiseworthy. And I'm not saying because I know this, although I do not have the opportunity to know all those things closely, but from the observer point of view, I have no doubt that this organization is both, showing the qualities and the integrity required for an educational institution. Many times they have, sorry to say this, that we are going for quality check. I would say good, very good, but please also check integrity.
Right.
Both of them are equally important for me in educational institutions.
Absolutely.
Not just quality compliance, but integrity compliance also.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to invite Dr. Nitin Kumar Saxena to give a vote of thanks.
Thank you, Komal. Thank you so much. A big thanks to Mohan sir for sharing his wisdom with all the students. And then you have opened a plethora of offerings to the students who are willing to engage in quality learning. Also, sir, like the reason why I have posted this question that how students can prepare for internship, the answer given by you is the perfect, that being a Jaipurian, taking part in all the activities that Jaipuria is doing for you, being attentive in the classes, being attentive in these sessions will prepare you for a global exposure, for a global career. So take active part in all the activities that we do. Thank you, Mohan sir. I would also like to extend my thanks to Tapan sir, a director, a source of motivation, a path guidance person, for providing this opportunity, for taking this association forward and converted it into a MOU. We have signed the MOU. And yes, of course, giving a powerful mantra to the students to be successful in life, that is, networking is the net worth. So this is very true, students. It is all because of the networking that we get many opportunities in life. And the only thing is that opportunity knocks the doors to only those who are prepared. So you need to be prepared. Opportunities will definitely come to you. I would also like to thank my faculty colleagues who are there with us and all the future managers for being here and taking part in this wisdom sharing session. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
And Komal, you really, first I thought you were a teacher. You really speak well and your posture is absolutely admirable. You know, the face and everything, very, very admirable. Huh?
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
So,
I think
so Komal, this is the second compliment. Huh? Last time, Mr. Amol from Dubai also has complimented you.
Yes.
So good. So thank you, Komal, and thank you, Sanskar, also like voluntarily coming in and supporting us for the IT support. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Sir, namaskar. Thank you so much.
And माफ करिएगा मैं थोड़ा जरा बहुत ही मेरा schedule बहुत ज़्यादा गड़बड़ रहता है तो please forgive me many times that this is the reason. It is not that I'm trying
It's
to
okay,
avoid,
sir.
many things are happening. That's why.
Yes. And for Sunday, I would request Dr. Nitin to coordinate with sir.
Yeah,
and
I'll
if
send
possible,
him. Yeah.
if possible, we may be the co-sponsor of that particular event.
No, done, sir. आपने कहा आपका आदेश है. बिल्कुल done. कोई दिक्कत नहीं.
Thank
ठीक
you.
है, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you all of you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.